Once upon a time, when my heart was broken, I found myself in a circle of drummers, and I danced. I danced until my spirit felt free. And there were some who came to me afterwards and said, "Wow, you caught the spirit." I don't know what I caught, but I know that it's something that our mothers and our mothers' mothers have been doing since the beginning of time. We dance it out. We danced circles of liberation into freedom. We made some ring shouts. We danced our people free. When there were no words, we found the rhythm and we kept going and going and going. This might be a story about dance. This might be a story about the drum. This might be a story about how our people just keep going and going and going and going and going. This might be a story about Beyonce and how she be bad. See, there is an African proverb that says, if the rhythm in the drum changes, the steps of the dance need to change. Y'all hear me? I said if the rhythm in the drum changes, then the steps of the dance need to change. Now, once upon a not too long ago, my marriage exploded a la like Tyler Perry meets Fatal Attraction. It was crazy. And I was totally blindsided. But the real thing is that I knew that my healing was going to be centered in music and dance. Like the next day, I got up and said, I gotta find me somebody's dance floor. And the DJ got me free. And when my sons talked to me, they were like, what can we do to support you? I said, when you talk to me, make sure to ask me, Ma, did you dance? Because if I'm dancing, then I'm getting free, okay? Now, one of the other things that I remembered that kind of got me through was watching Beyonce's visual album, Lemonade. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's hard to catch you up. You just got to go do it, okay? But here's the thing. It's like a badass way of saying, I have been betrayed, but I'm so fierce that I'm going to keep going, okay? And it's one of the things that says that what has happened to me is not something like our grandmothers used to say, shh, don't tell nobody, shh, don't tell nobody, shh. No, that shit happened. It was hard. And I'm going to get to the other side of it. But I must tell you, I was moved by the women by the water and the generations of generations. I was moved by the images of fierce black women loving on each other. But the best part was the part when she got that baseball bat. And she was like walking through the streets, bashing, bashing, bashing. You want to know why I like that part? Because we are not allowed our anger. We are told, you need to forgive that, move on. No, sometimes you need to break something. And I just want to thank you, Beyonce, for letting me vicariously have that experience through you. When the rhythm of the drum changes, the steps of the dance need to change. So, this folktale came to me. That's the language that I speak. And folktale says that there was a village. And in this village, there was a ritual of song and dance for everything, for the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, for the birthing of the babies and the carrying of an ancestor from this world to the next. There was a song and dance for the weddings and the coming together, and there was a song and dance for the installation of a new leader. They had a song and dance ritual for what seemed like everything. But there were some folk in this village who sometimes were feeling so alone. There were some folk in this village who sometimes were feeling that they were so angry that they did not have words for it. There were some folk in this village who were feeling that they might not be able to go on. And most often what happened is that they didn't feel like there was a place for them in the ritual, so they went off somewhere by themselves. Sometimes they went by the trees. Sometimes they went by the water. Sometimes they went in a closet all alone. But when they were very still, they could hear the wind speaking. They could hear the leaves rustling in the trees. They could hear the water moving back and forth. And sometimes the sound that they would hear was continue. And sometimes the sound that they would hear was speak your truth. And sometimes the song that they would hear was hush, you are not alone. And in those very quiet places when they were listening to the earth above and below, to the ancestors around them speaking, they began to speak. All alone, just to say the story that they had been afraid to say, just to say it out loud. And do you know what happened? When enough people were speaking those things out loud, they started to hear it. Oh, I heard you. Could I tell you mine? I heard you. Could I tell you mine? Yeah, I want to hear yours, because I got something I've been afraid to say too. And all of those people speaking made a new ritual. There was a new rhythm for it. They made a new dance for it. It was a dance that said, your story, your word, your place, your rhythm is so important. It is so needed. Speak it right here. Speak it right now, because when you do, we will realize that we can get free together. So I want you to know that if you are in a place where you are feeling that there is something inside that you have not even been able to speak, speak it. Sometimes you might need to dance it. Sometimes you might need to sing it, but get it out. Because when you do, the wind might carry it to somebody else. And together, we just might get free. Ashe.